In depth today, a brand new program is giving local entrepreneurs, well, the chance to sell their ideas. But here's the catch. They only have 6 minutes to do it. The show is called Pitch 6. Think of it as the Tampa Bay version of the hit show Shark Tank. Entrepreneurs will have to pitch their startup businesses in front of a panel of judges, and the winner gets a grand prize. In depth now with last year's winner to learn more about the competition. Joining me right now to talk about Pitch 6, we'll tell you what it is in a minute. We have Joe Durkin from Bright House Networks. Joe, good to see you.
Al.
And more importantly, Kimberly Munzo, who was one of the winners 2 years ago. You're going to tell us about it in just a minute. But Joe, I'm going to start with you. Tell me, what is Pitch 6? What are the Regional Business Awards? Tell me.
Well, Kim was the first winner 2 years ago of our inaugural Pitch 6. Pitch 6 is taking the top 5 startup companies throughout the regions that we serve and giving them 6 minutes to pitch their idea, their business model, to a panel of judges to see if they are the winner of the Pitch 6 contest. You win that, you get an opportunity to get $5,000 and also work with some venture capitalists to grow your business.
And this is all part of the Regional Business Awards that Bright House has been doing now. This will be our 3rd year, right?
This is our 3rd year, and Pitch 6 is one of the categories that we do in Regional Business Awards. We recognize the startup, the small business, medium, and large businesses. And we give over $1 million in prizes.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal prize in airtime, commercial production, a host of different things, plus cash.
Yeah, and the whole thing is done in such a professional, wild format. It's wonderful. All right, Kimberly, you know, you talk about a success story. First of all, tell me what your company was. Where were you when you came into this Pitch 6? And did you get nervous when you had to pitch your program in front of those judges? Any of this stuff?
I still get nervous when I have to pitch our solutions. Our company has grown substantially since the Pitch 6 event. At that time, during the Pitch 6 event, the judges asked, how many customers do you have today? And we had 5. Oh. And at that point, we were pleased with that because we were still so new. Today, we have close to 80. Oh. And I think that a lot of that growth, I contribute to the success that we've received from Bright House from having won that competition.
Okay, so Aspire EDU is what it's called. So
yes.
what exactly is Aspire EDU?
We provide retention analytics to schools to help them identify students that are at risk of either failing or dropping out of school so that they can better support those students.
Now, this is what's neat, because anybody who knows anything about schools and school districts and boards of education, they are always, show me the numbers, show me the numbers, show me the numbers. So you actually developed a system that will allow them to say, you know what, based on these rubrics, these numbers, this person needs help. Didn't they have anything like that before?
They didn't. They didn't.
Oh,
the
really?
schools had so many different silos of data, but no way to bring it all together in an easy to use, easy to understand, actionable format.
Now, you say you now have 80 customers. How many people did you have working for your company when it began? Is it the same number now, or what?
We have increased in terms of our developers that contribute to coding the software. We are going to need to increase in terms of support, because obviously with that many customers now to support, and we want to give them the best experience possible, that we're currently looking to hire.
Let's talk about specifically what you were able to do. Obviously, when you go to Pitch 6, you are really able to hone in. I've got 6 minutes to sell my company. Give me a little kind of a look back. What did you say during that 6 minutes? What do you think is the one thing that flipped them around?
That's a good question. I think that what the contestants should focus on, I think what we did, is it's not enough to have a great idea. A lot of people come up with great ideas every day, but you have to be able to demonstrate how you're executing on that idea, and whether you have the right people on your team, and how your operations and your finances have grown over time. So it's not enough to have the great idea. You have to actually articulate how you're doing it.
Be expert subject matters on that particular business. Let's talk about the Regional Business Awards, because obviously Bright House is in the business of trying to expand people's impact in the area, the monetary side of things. So when we came up with this idea of the Regional Business Awards, at first when I thought about it, I thought, why hadn't we done this before? Because this is a fabulous idea.
Well, you know, it is, Al, and Bright House Networks, we're committed to the business community. And you know, this is an opportunity to bring out the best in class of the different businesses, from small, medium, and large businesses. Now, does it help Bright House? Of course it does, but it also helps grow these businesses, and in turn grows our community and our local community.
Now, the categories, what were the categories? I know you do small, medium, and large businesses.
We do a startup, which is the Pitch 6.
Okay.
Then we do a small business, anywhere from 5 to 25 employees. medium 25 to 100, and then large 100 plus.
When we talk about the value of advertising, I can think of, because I know personally a couple of companies besides yours that came in when they started advertising, and I don't mean this to be a sales job because that's really not, but there was this bakery in Largo. It was called Frida's. Frida's they were friends of ours actually, and when I suggested to them, you know, you ought to advertise, they didn't know what that was going to mean. Well, man, when Frida started advertising on this place, boom, they've had to buy another parking lot across the street from them, and everybody goes there because if you have a good idea, you really have to connect with your customers.
It is, and it's also, but beyond that, it's also these businesses that are making a difference in the communities, whether it's through their employees, their products, or the services, and it's really recognizing the best that's out there, and celebrating the businesses that drive our economy in our local communities.
I'm curious. You know, the statistics on startup companies are horrible. I mean, I think it's like 1 in every 10 that are out there are the only ones that make it. The other 9 fail. When you put this idea together, were you worried about failure? I know that may sound stupid, but were you worried about what happens if this doesn't work?
I think I'm constantly concerned, but I think it was actually a little bit of the opposite for us in the beginning, because I built this solution because I needed it. I didn't build it for the market.
Is the mother of invention.
Exactly. So when I learned that others needed this as well, we've really created something that meets a need that schools are experiencing today.
And Joe, when you talk about small businesses, if anybody needs support in the early stages, it's them. And not just to buy their product, but to fine-tune what it is they do.
Well, you're right, because the small businesses, one of the things they don't have in their budget is marketing or advertisement. And, you know, with Bright House Networks, they can take that to the next step. They can put their product or their business in front of a lot of eyes.
And who are the judges this time around?
Well, it's a host of judges that are, you know, from the academic community, the business community, people that are experts in these fields that are going to take and analyze the pitches and see who the next winner is.
Are they a little nicer than the guys are on Shark Tanks? Because sometimes I look at Mark Cuban and I kind of go, Mark, back off, buddy.
You know, this is the third one we're doing, and they have 6 minutes, and they're tough. They ask some tough, quick questions.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing because each one, you know, Kim was a winner, but it was each one of the contestants, their companies, you're looking at it going, wow, what a great idea, what a great product.
Yeah.
So you're bringing out really the best top finalists from throughout the regions. We had over 30 startup companies, you know, get whittled down to the top 5. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a tough call.
And again, the benefit for those that don't win, and this is pretty obvious, is that when you're under pressure to fine-tune your idea and really define what it is that you do, why you're different than everybody else, how you plan to exceed, and how you plan to execute, it's a good idea. Kimberly, much success to you at Aspire ED. Chance to interview the people after they win. You know, that's really the exciting part of the night. They get to meet me. Yeah, right. Hey, Kimberly, thank you. Joe, always good talking to you.
Always a pleasure.
Now, if you want to, you can be a part of the Pitch 6 live audience. Tickets are $25. Students, you only have to pay $10. You can catch that program at 6 this evening at the Straz Center's Jabe Theater. And of course, as we mentioned before, Bright House is the parent company of BayNews 9.